Imagine a dark ribbon of asphalt clinging to a mountainside at midnight. Suddenly, the silence is torn apart by the scream of a high-revving engine. A pair of headlights slices through the gloom, arcing sideways in a ballet of controlled chaos. A thick, white cloud of smoke billows from the rear tires, hanging in the air like a ghost long after the car has vanished around the next bend. This is the raw, visceral image that defines drifting. It is a motorsport that is equal parts art form and extreme sport, a discipline that has journeyed from clandestine mountain passes in Japan to sold-out stadiums across the globe. Today, on 2025, October 21st, its appeal is stronger than ever. This spectacle of sliding cars, perfectly balanced on the very edge of losing control, did not emerge from a sterile boardroom or a sanctioned racetrack. Its roots are far more rebellious, planted firmly in the soil of the 1970s Japan. It was born from a desire to be the fastest, not just on the straights, but through the most challenging corners imaginable. Young drivers, hungry for adrenaline and respect, took to the treacherous mountain roads to test their mettle and their machines. They discovered that simply braking and turning wasn't always the quickest way down a mountain. A new, more daring technique was needed, one that would redefine the relationship between a driver, a car, and the laws of physics. The essence of drifting is a beautiful contradiction. The driver intentionally forces the car into a state of oversteer, where the rear wheels lose traction and begin to slide outwards. Yet, through a delicate and continuous dance of steering throttle brake inputs, they maintain absolute command. It's a spectacle of aggression and grace, a loud, brash display of power that requires the subtle touch of a surgeon. This is not about losing control. It is about mastering it in its most dynamic and visually stunning form. The story of how this underground practice evolved into a professional global sport is a testament to the passion and innovation of its pioneers. From its humble, illegal beginnings to its current status as a premier motorsport, the journey of drifting has been remarkable. It has created heroes turned ordinary production cars into legends and captivated an entire generation of fans who are drawn to its unique blend of high-stakes competition and expressive style. The names, the cars, and the techniques have been passed down, evolving with each new driver and every new technological advance. This essay will trace that incredible path, from the foggy peaks of the Japanese Touge to the bright lights of today's international drift arenas, exploring how a rebellious act of driving became a worldwide sensation. The story of drifting begins on the winding mountain roads of Japan known as Touge, pronounced Toge. These are not smooth, wide-open highways. They are narrow, unforgiving stretches of pavement that snake through dense forests and climb steep inclines. Filled with hairpin turns, blind crests, and dramatic changes in elevation, the Touge were the perfect, albeit dangerous, proving grounds for a new generation of racers in the 1970s. These drivers often raced in illegal street groups called the Hashiriya, and they weren't just after top speed. Their goal was to conquer the mountain, to be the fastest point-to-point, which meant mastering the corners. The environment favored skill over raw horsepower. In that high-stakes world, a new driving philosophy emerged. Drivers learned to carry more speed into a corner, then initiate a controlled slide to maintain momentum and set up a faster exit. This was drifting's birth, a technique born of necessity and the need for an edge. The aim: rotate the car through the corner, use the throttle to steer the rear end while keeping the front wheels pointed at the exit. It was incredibly risky, demanding immense car control and intimate knowledge of the road and the car. The Touge culture mattered as much as the technique. It was a world of honor, of rivalry, and of relentless practice. Drivers spent countless nights perfecting their lines, learning every crack in the pavement and every nuance of each turn. They fought one-on-one battles, often in a cat-and-mouse format, with a lead car trying to pull away and a chase car trying to match them. While many nameless daredevils practiced sliding on the Touge, two names rise above all others as the godfathers of drifting. The first is Kunimitsu Takahashi, motorcycle racer, car racer from the 1970s. Competing in the All-Japan Touring Car Championship, Takahashi became famous for his unique cornering style. He would approach a turn at high speed, lock the front tires momentarily to shift weight, pitch the car sideways, use the throttle to power through the apex in a controlled four-wheel drift. The move looked spectacular and it was effective, maintaining high cornering speeds. Fans were mesmerized. A young generation of street racers took notice. The man who took that style to the streets and the world was Keiichi Tsuchiya. Young Tsuchiya racer with limitless passion, Tsuchiya dedicated himself to the slide. He spent endless nights on Nagano mountain passes practicing and perfecting. He wasn't just trying to be fast, he wanted to be stylish. Hold a slide longer, hold it at a greater angle, hold it with more grace. His skill earned him the nickname, the Drift King, Dorikin. Drifting, as Tsuchiya popularized it, is a complex sequence needing split-second precision. It often begins with the approach to a corner. A driver might use a feint, a quick steering flick, to upset balance, or use the handbrake to lock the rear wheels momentarily, or use a power over, a sudden burst of throttle to break rear traction. Once sliding, the real art begins. Countersteer. Turn the front wheels opposite the slide. Modulate the throttle to control angle and trajectory. Steer with the rear end. Tsuchiya's influence cannot be overstated. In 1987, he and a car magazine released Fluspi, showcasing his Tsuchiya drifting. The video became an underground sensation, spreading the gospel of drifting. It cemented his legend and proved drifting was deliberate and repeatable. He helped move drifting from illegal street act to legitimate motorsport, forever changing automotive history with his passion and talent. As the 1990s dawned, drifting was still an underground phenomenon, a secret among Tsuchiya racers and a growing band of devoted fans. The Fluspi video had lit a fire. Magazines began covering drifting, tuning shops started featuring it. Its illegal nature limited growth and put drivers at constant risk. The scene was at a crossroads. Drifting needed to step out of the mountain shadows into the bright lights of a legitimate venue. The solution? Transform clandestine races into judged competitions, where style mattered as much as speed. This change was led by Keiichi Tsuchiya, Daijiro Inada. They envisioned a pro series for Japan's best drifters, competing head-to-head in a safe, controlled setting. In 2000, the D1 Grand Prix launched. It was the world's first professional drifting championship. It set formal rules and a judging system scoring drivers' online angle speed and showmanship. Drifters became professional athletes. Early D1 showcased Tsuchiya legends: Toyota AE86 Corolla 11, Toyota AE86 Sprinter Trueno, Nissan Silvia S13, S14, S15, Nissan 180SX. These cars were relatively affordable, easy to modify, backed by huge aftermarket support. They became sport icons recognized worldwide. D1 introduced Suiso, tandem battles. After solo qualifying runs, top drivers paired up to run the course simultaneously. One driver leads, the other chases, trying to mirror line and angle precisely. Then they switch positions. The format added drama and intensity. A famous early battle saw bumpers tap mid-corner. Both drivers held their lines, and the crowd roared. Those moments cemented drifting as entertainment. The explosive popularity of the D1 Grand Prix in Japan was like a shockwave that quickly radiated across the globe. Enthusiasts in other countries who had only seen glimpses of drifting through grainy VHS tapes and imported magazines were now able to witness it as a fully fledged professional sport. The excitement was contagious. In 2003, the D1 Grand Prix held its first ever event on U.S. soil in Irwindale, California, exposing American car culture to the spectacle of professional drifting firsthand. The event was a massive success and served as the catalyst for drifting's explosion in North America. Recognizing the immense potential, American entrepreneurs Jim Leaw and Ryan Lantane founded Formula Drift, often called Formula D, in 2004. This became the premier professional drifting championship in North America, and it quickly developed its own unique identity. While Japanese drifting often emphasized precision and style with moderately powered cars, the American scene embraced a more is more philosophy. Formula Drift became known for its high-powered machines, with drivers shoehorning massive V8 engines into Japanese chassis and European chassis to create tire-shredding monsters capable of producing incredible speed and smoke. This blend of Japanese technique and American muscle created a new and exciting flavor of the sport. The spread of drifting did not stop in the United States. Europe soon caught the fever, with countries like Ireland, the United Kingdom, Poland, and Russia developing their own passionate scenes and professional series. Each region brought its unique car culture to the table. In Europe, it was common to see BMWs, a brand with a long history of rear-wheel drive sedans, converted into highly competitive drift cars. This global expansion demonstrated the universal appeal of drifting. The language of a perfectly executed slide, the roar of a tuned engine, and the sight of billowing tire smoke transcended cultural and geographic boundaries. This worldwide growth was massively accelerated by media. The 2006 film The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, brought a stylized version of the sport to a massive mainstream audience, introducing terms like Drift King and showcasing iconic locations in Tokyo. At the same time, video game franchises like Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport began including drifting modes, allowing millions of players to virtually try their hand at the technique. Social media platforms later became the new frontier, with platforms like YouTube. The simple, lightly modified cars of the Tsuchiya have evolved into the purpose-built, high-tech monsters that dominate professional drifting today. While the spirit of the sport remains the same, the technology behind it has advanced at a breathtaking pace. Modern drift cars are engineering marvels, meticulously designed for one purpose: to go sideways with maximum speed, angle, and control. Engines are no longer just tuned. They are often completely swapped and built to produce astronomical levels of horsepower and torque, with outputs frequently exceeding 1,000 horsepower. This power is essential for spinning the rear wheels at high speeds and maintaining long, aggressive drifts. Suspension and steering systems have also undergone a radical transformation. Early drifters made do with lowering springs and stiffened shocks, but today's competitors use fully adjustable coilover systems that allow them to fine-tune every aspect of the car's handling. Perhaps the most significant advance has been in steering angle. Custom knuckles and control arms now allow the front wheels to turn to almost 90 degrees. Detailed Formula Drift front wheel at full lock here. Specialized tires are another key component, engineered to provide a predictable balance between grip and slip, and to produce the massive clouds of smoke that fans love. Alongside technological advancements, the way the culture is shared has also changed dramatically. Social media has become the lifeblood of the modern drift scene. Drivers are no longer just athletes, they are content creators and influencers, building personal brands by sharing their race weekend highlights and the details of their latest engine build. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, stunning slow-motion drone shots, raw in-car footage. This digital connectivity has made the sport more accessible than ever, allowing fans to follow their favorite drivers and teams in real time. This media-rich environment has also helped to shape the culture around drift events. A modern professional drift competition is more than just a race. It is a full-blown festival. The air is thick with the smell of race fuel and burnt rubber, and the sound is an overwhelming symphony of screaming engines and cheering crowds. Car shows, vendor villages, live music drivers have become global stars, recognized for their unique styles and personalities, inspiring a new generation to get involved, whether by building their own car, attending an event, or firing up a racing simulator. They learned the ideal tool was a lightweight, a well-balanced rear-wheel drive car, not supercars, but nimble machines that obeyed the driver's inputs. The Tsuchiya forged legendary drivers and the core principles of a driving style that would capture the world's imagination and lay the foundation for what came next. Today, drifting stands as a testament to the power of grassroots car culture. It is a sport built from the ground up, fueled by social media, video games, and blockbuster films that have carried its message to every corner of the planet. Modern drift cars are marvels of technology, pushing the boundaries of what is possible, yet they still carry the DNA of their humble predecessors. The core of the sport remains unchanged. It is still about the driver, their machine, and that breathtaking moment when they dance on the knife's edge between control and chaos, painting a perfect line on the asphalt with smoke and style. The future of drifting shines as brightly as the headlights cutting through a mountain night. It will continue to evolve, with new technologies, new cars, and new stars emerging to push the sport even further. From the dark, misty mountain passes of 1970s Japan to the sun-drenched, sold-out arenas of 2025, the journey of drifting is a powerful story of rebellion, innovation, and passion. It began as a daring technique used by a handful of drivers to conquer the Tsuchiya, an act of defying the conventional limits of speed and control. It was nurtured by pioneers like Kunimitsu Takahashi and perfected by the relentless dedication of its king, Keiichi Tsuchiya. What was once an illegal secret whispered among street racers has blossomed into a globally recognized and celebrated motorsport, complete with professional leagues, superstar athletes, and millions of devoted fans. The evolution from street to track was a pivotal moment, transforming drifting into a legitimate spectacle without losing its soul. The D1 Grand Prix and Formula Drift provided a stage where the art of the slide could be judged, refined, and showcased to the world. This transition gave birth to a new generation of automotive icons, from the nimble AE86 to the powerful Nissan Silvia, and inspired a global movement. But its heart will forever be connected to that original, rebellious spirit of the Tsuchiya. The unbroken line of drifting stretches from a lonely mountain road into a future filled with limitless potential, forever inspiring those who believe that the most exciting path forward is often the one taken sideways. The symphony of smoke and skill will play on,